Alright, welcome back to the World Card Gamer. Are you a new or returning Magic the Gathering player? Are you confused with the enormous variety of products available for Magic right now? Great, because this is a video for you. Grab a very large drink, and this can be a doozy of a video. Okay, so let's separate this into, four different categories. We have decks, we have boosters, we have bundles, and we have special stuff. So let's start with the special stuff because that's really easy. So this is one example of a thing that they released. I believe you did get this from your local card shop. But basically this is 4 dual decks. It's a anthology.
8 decks altogether.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's 4 dual decks, which times 2 is 8. This is the Dual Decks Anthology box. There are, I believe, 3 different versions of this, because there was the Commander Anthology, I think 1 and 2. So yeah, so you got these, and these were, I think, originally MSRP at around $100. Now they're going for something like $200 or $300 each, give or take. So yeah, those are not currently available. What Wizards has been doing now are secret Lairs. They've been doing that for, on and off, for 2 or 3 years, I think. I think the first one was in 2019. Anyway, so secret Lairs are basically these. There's a bunch of different ones now. There's like, I don't know, I think something like 100. Yeah, there's like 100 and something of them now. But anyway, the point is that basically, secret Lairs are like this one. They're special cards with special art usually. They have anywhere between 3 and 10 cards each, plus the bonus card. So what goes on here is basically you have to pre-order them. And this is the new version now. They made the boxes a lot smaller, which is good.
And tamper-proof, right?
Yeah, well, they're more tamper-proof now because they've got the little seal here, and you got to rip this to open it. So yeah, so basically the way this works is they will announce it, and then there's a certain period of time that you have to order it, and they are printed to order, and they basically take like 6 months to get out. So you pay them usually ahead of time, but you can actually kind of pay them right before they get printed. So this is basically just something that you can order direct. If you miss the opportunity, they're drops basically. So if you miss it, you can't get them anymore from Wizards. You have to get them on the secondary market, and that's almost always going to be more expensive than if you had ordered it directly from them.
And they come in either normal or foil.
Oh yeah, and most of the time, not every time. And sometimes there's actually a few of them that have 3 different versions where they have non-foil, foil, and then there's an etched version as well, which confuses everything. Etched foiling, it's weird to describe. It doesn't have any texture to it, so you don't feel anything, but it looks like it would be, it's grainy. It's darker, and etched isn't always the same every time they say etched. Sometimes it's like an accented etched, which basically means like there's certain parts of the card that are foiled, and other times it's the whole card that's foiled, but just looks like that dark grainy foiling. And then they have the normal foils, of course, anyway. So yeah, those are the special ones. When you are a new player or returning player to Magic, stores would basically give you free things. In the past, they were these free little dual decks. There you go. So these are like little dual decks that are meant to be intro decks. You would crack one open there, and it would come with kind of a little rule book, and then you'd have 2 30-card decks, I think it was, 25, 30-card decks. And they would be very basic, very, very basic decks. They usually had 1 rare in them. They would have a couple of mana and, you know, all the basic stuff just to get someone into the game. Now, if you are a new or returning player, when you go to a store, they're supposed to have, and this is only if you're a WPN store, which means that they have to be registered with Wizards as a special store to be getting promos. Then they get these free packs, and they're called intro packs, and we don't have them, unfortunately, because we don't have WPN store nearby, unfortunately. But yeah, so you get...
They're all usually the same.
Yes, they're set, but they're different. They've been releasing one for every set now. So there's actually a really cool channel, the Magic Historian. He has access to them, so he's been cracking one for every different set. And they do have a couple of different rares. The issue with those is that they're obviously not playable because you're only getting like 15 cards in there.
If you want to see something that is kind of like that, we did a video of the CD-ROMs.
I haven't gotten that yet. We're getting that. So that is what he's talking about. So yeah, these are basically the CD-ROM. These are the 2-player starter sets that were actually sold back then. So these were free. These were sold. They were usually relatively cheap. They were like $10, $20 or something, and they would come with two-player starter sets. They would have a special card.
Basic, very small.
But they would have a special card in them and or sometimes a booster pack. So these are pretty cool. And the new version of that now is this. So this is the Arena Starter Kit. And so there's usually two versions of this. There's the version that comes out at a store, and there's the version that Amazon sells. The only difference is the color of the box. The decks themselves are exactly the same. They're usually very basic. There have been a couple of versions of this that have come out now. I think they do one a year, give or take. And they do come with an Arena code, so you can actually play the decks on Arena. This is basically if you were a starting player. These were your options. This is now your current option. And they're usually, I think they're around $10, $10, $15, so they're quite cheap. So it's a good entry point. And yeah, so Wizards wants you to actually buy them. So basically they delegated off, instead of giving people free stuff, they're making you pay for it now. Still get the free booster pack, which is okay, but it's not playable. I really like these, especially as somebody who's jumped in and out of Magic many times. I really enjoyed being able to jump in and simply have like a deck to play without having to spend any money immediately. Now, let's go on to the more advanced deck. I don't have a sealed version of this, but this was what they used to have. These were like the basic starter decks. These were called the Planeswalker decks. This one's actually in French. I like getting some different language products when I travel. But anyway, so this was just a Planeswalker deck, and this, generally they were very basic, nothing too crazy in the decks, and they did have, this came with 2 boosters, so that was okay. And I think the price point for this is usually $10, $15. Now, what they have are Commander decks. When I played, Commander was not a thing. Unfortunately, I mean, EDH apparently did exist. I think it's, somebody mentioned it started in like 1999 or something, 2000. But I had never heard of it. So I had only ever played really standard, which was 2.0, type 2. That's what it was. It was type 2. Anyway, so we have never actually played Commander. We'll get to it at some point, I promise. But we haven't had the time to do that. So anyway, so these are basically what you're getting nowadays, and these are generally the price point. I think some of the versions are smaller, or cheaper, rather. So Commander is basically, yeah, it's 100 cards. You're getting 100 single cards in here, and these are supposed to be $20, I think. $20, $25. There's no MSRP officially from Wizards, so it varies based off of demand and the value of the cards in the box. This one is supposed to be in the $40 range, I believe, 40, 50, give or take. Again, depends on the set, depends on the value of the card, so there's no guaranteed. So these are the Commander starter boxes, starter decks. There are a whole bunch of different formats, and so Wizards has been producing Challenger decks. Challenger decks, so this is actually a full, like, kit thing. It has all of them in here. These are for Pioneer. So these were the Challenger decks that came out in 2021. They're going to be doing Challenger decks this year for 2022, and they're actually standard legal, I believe, this year. And so, again, I'll hold those up for you. So here, these are obviously pre-con decks, pre-build decks, but these are meant to be basically tournament playable out of the box. So these are a little bit more expensive. Again, I don't remember specifically. I think they're around $40 each as well. But they're only 60 cards versus the 100-card Commander decks. And yeah, so they're supposed to be playable out of the box. They're obviously not going to be top tier, but they're supposed to be a very good start versus, for example, anybody who's bought these would know that these were pretty bad. So they're like, these are worlds apart. These are a very good start to get into any particular format. So these are Challenger decks. All right, so now that we're done with decks, let's move on to boosters. This is a whole confusing smorgasbord of boosters. Yeah, so if you will take a look at our last video, we'll pin that down below somewhere. But our last video explained the differences between the boosters. There's basically 4 different booster types. We've got draft boosters, we've got set boosters, we've got theme boosters, and we have, where'd it go? Oh no, there it is, it was hiding. We got collector boosters. All right, so those are the 4 type of boosters. Again, the very basics. Draft boosters, the booster that we've all known and loved for the last almost 30 years now. Set boosters are the new ones, and these have a bunch of random list cards in them, plus they have more rares in them. These theme booster boxes, or theme boosters, they are only 1 rare or mythic per booster apparently, and they've got like 36 other commons and uncommons, which are supposed to be going along a certain randomized theme with the rare, but nothing else too crazy in there. And then the whale packs, which are the collector boosters. And these are going to be the very high-end version of the packs. You're going to be getting tons and tons of foils. Each pack usually comes between 4 and 5 rares or mythics. And there's a lot of cards in these collector boosters, which are only available in the collector booster packs. Now, the variety of what's been going on These are set boosters only came out in 2020. This was the very first set booster box. It's the Zendikar Rising set booster box. As you can see, Wizards apparently got a complaint, or had getting lots of complaints about how the box is nowhere near the same size as a draft booster box. It is just awkward, and it's got all of this extra space in it. And so they finally changed it into these, which are the exact same, at least kind of squared size as the draft booster boxes. Then you've got all these other random products. There's a product that I don't have on hand right now, and that would be the Commander Legends draft box, and I believe that came with 24 packs in it, and it had 20 cards per booster pack. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those on hand. What I do have on hand are the Jumpstart booster box, or is the Jumpstart booster box. So this is a really random thing. This also has 24 packs with 20 cards in each of them. So the point of this was just to crack 2 of them, make a deck out of it. You get to randomly play somebody else. So it's kind of like sealed draft, but you don't have to actually think about it. It's already done. So they're kind of like the theme boosters as well, but preset, I guess. Then they've been doing, in the past, all of the different formats were based off of just like the cards that were coming out, and Standard was the one and only supported format by Wizards. Wizards has now expanded and is supporting different formats. Again, as with the Commander Legends set that was specifically just for Commander. I just mentioned the decks that were the Challenger decks, and last year they were for Pioneer, which is a different format. And so this is a draft booster box for Modern Horizons 2. So they've actually done 2 sets now that were Modern only. And this is weird because the issue here is that with all these products, they change the rules with everything. These draft boosters, I believe they're also 15 cards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 15 cards, but you can get more than 1 rare in these. And I think you can actually get 3, because you can get, there's 1 slot for 1 rare, there's a possible slot for a second one, and then I think you get a foil for each pack, and that foil can also be a rare. So you can get 3 rares in 1 pack, 3 rares and or mythics. And that does not happen in normal draft packs. So this is just its own beast, and it's also a beast. These are awesome. These are gold, and these are probably one of the best sets that Wizards made in the last year. So everyone is very eagerly anticipating the new versions. Now, just as a quick roundup, the issue is that those were the boxes. Now, you can also get packs individually. So this is a single, it's a blister, single draft booster. And then the issue that they had for a little while was actually they were selling these the collector boosters, so these are much more expensive. They were selling the collector booster in the blister thingies, and the issue is that they look very similar. And so people were cheating unsuspecting staff at like Walmart and Target and all that. Yeah, they don't know the difference, but I mean, it just says Ikoria on it. So people would be buying the collector booster for the price of a draft booster, and a draft booster is like $4 or $5, and these are like $20, $25 each. So basically someone would just ring, or even in an automatic cash register, you just ring up 1 draft booster, and then they just ring up the same one. They're like, oh yeah, I'm buying 20 of them. And in reality, they were stealing. Last but not least, now we have bundles. Bundle went from Fat Pack, which had 2 boosters and a tournament pack, and the book and the little insert for figuring out what cards were in the set. That evolved into the gift box. So that had, I think that varied between 4 and 5 booster packs each. So that was the gift box there. That went on to being the bundle. Yeah, there we go. So that went into the bundle. And the bundle was 10 draft booster packs. Then they went on and did the gift edition of the bundle. So that was 10 booster packs and a collector booster pack. And then we went into the new bundle, which is now now 8 set booster packs. I believe the gift would also have 1 collector booster and the 8.
Ah, I'm gonna kill myself! I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
Yeah, clearly a lot has changed of these, and the size is just massive. So this is the latest iterations. They're big, and they've changed a lot. So the last iterations were these ones. These are really cool because there's less plastic. They've got the temper seal on them, and they're actually like a pull tab. So this is from the newest version. But both of these are the exact same thing, yeah, in the sense that they're both 8 set booster packs. Oh yeah, yeah, you can hear the dice, but it's 8 booster packs, 8 set booster packs, so not draft packs anymore. And yeah, that's about it. That's what you have available to you now. Just be careful that if you're looking I think D&D was the last set that they had draft packs in them.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, because this is the next one. Yeah, Innistrad came out. So
now with set boosters.
exactly. So Innistrad, Midnight Hunt, Val, and now Neon Destiny are set booster packs. So I hope that helped you. I hope you understand a little bit more of the insane variety of Magic products available on the market right now. I think the only thing we didn't touch on, which I don't have on hand either, is the unset. The unsets, again, are joke sets in the past, so they're not illegal in any format other than tabletop. Not standard legal, not legal for anything other than tabletop. They're just jokes. I remembered this is why I went to go get the mystery booster box. So these started off as convention edition mystery boosters, and so basically it's like the list, which come in the set booster. Like you get one list card every 4 set boosters roughly. This is one entire set of list cards. It comes with 24 packs, 15 cards per pack. From what I understand, because we haven't opened one yet, this is the first one I have on hand, it's basically just a conglomeration mix of cards from tons of different sets over the entire history of Magic. They just made a set out of it, and there are now 2 versions of it. There's the, I think, 2019 version, and then the 2021 version. There's a very slight difference in the cards. They have cards that are playable, and then they have test cards. Each pack, I believe, has 1 test card in it. And test cards are like the unset cards in like they're not playable in anything other than tabletop. Yeah, and they look like test cards, so they look like they're just sketches and random things, so they're entertaining. And then lastly, I did forget to mention, I touched on it very quickly, but these, the Secret Lair boxes, a lot of them have cards that are randomized in the secret card. So you get a bonus card with each Secret Lair. You get the basic Secret Lair, so like this is special guest Jen Bartel. I think there's 4 cards in here originally. And then there's the extra card. That bonus card can be a very rare card sometimes. So it is important that you try, if you're going to buy one, try and get a sealed one, because then you have the opportunity of getting something really cool. Some of them are definitely not random, and some of them do have the possibility of getting a very, very rare card, which is usually worth a lot. So yeah, so try and get a sealed one if you can. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, there has to be a better way of saying this, but this is a clusterfuck of the amount of different variety that exists in Wizards. It is nuts. It's very hard to keep up with. So just pay attention to what you're buying. Like and subscribe, and there will be one more video of these, I believe, which to hopefully help new and returning players out on their journey to get back into Magic. See you later, guys.